Hey guys, so I hope you've been enjoying Operation Icestorm week. I'm joined by Carlos and Killian, and by this stage, we've had a look through the box. We've had a play through the game. We've been looking at it from the basics. We've been looking at it from the more veteran point of view. The only question that remains is for any new player getting into this, once you've got the box, you've got into the game, you're enjoying it, where to next? Now, I have a wish list, okay? Based on the most popular demand of what people love talking about on BC4 when it comes to Infinity, it has to have tags and it has to have pandas. so long as there's tags and pandas, I think everybody's fine. So help me out here, Carlos. Battle Box and beyond, where do we go with take each of these factions to a 300-point kind of tournament list?
Okay, Operation Icestorm, Battle Box and beyond. Let's say that you have already purchased Operation Icestorm and now you have a Nomad army and a Pano army, or you and your friends have. Where to go? Well, because this is the first step of getting into Infinity, there's like an ocean of options out there. Lots of troops. We're talking about a range of more than 500 miniatures, so my first advice, get into the Infinity website and navigate through the whole Nomad section and then the whole Pano section and see what you like. Option number 2, accept this humble suggestion, very humble suggestion. Veteran gamers will also recommend you lots of stuff. So we are now just suggesting for Pano, just for reaching 300 points and having 10 units, okay? I will say that this even comes in the Operation Icestorm
it's
rulebook.
in the book. It's page 24. So it's if you want to follow along if you've got your copy and you're watching this, then you can find it. So they've got it listed here, but we'll go through the list. But I kind of also want to pick Killian's brain on why we would include these things in the list. So
okay, here we are suggesting the Auxilia box, okay, and the Hotum from Svaralheima box. Why? Because the Hotum is already from Svaralheima, which is the planet where the Operation Icestorm is happening. Makes sense. It's a tag. It's one of the most beautiful tags. Massive, with a huge armor value. Yep. And the Auxilia, they are from Neoterra, but they are very, very effective line troopers that comes with the Aux bots, perfect for covering your deployment. They can accomplish objectives in ITS because they can be deployed with the forward observer option, and that is useful for making objectives.
The ITS, that's the Infinity Tournament system you're talking about.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Because apart from the Operation Icestorm box, you have a lot of Infinity activity out there. And getting into tournaments with a list, with a tag, with specialists, and with the Operation Icestorm miniatures will be fine, will work.
So one tag and one additional box is enough to take the Panoceania army right up to 300 points.
Yes. Yep.
How effective do you reckon it would be as an army to play with your friends? Like, I would imagine no player. Certainly, I'm not expecting to go out and start winning tournaments just after my first purchases to expand this.
But having fun, which is
more
important.
But am I going to have fun?
Very much so. In fact, starting with the Hotum or Jotum, armor 10 tag, so the highest armor value in the game. Very high ballistic skill of 15 as well.
Yes,
yep.
A beast.
It's a beast. It's got a multi-heavy machine gun and a close-range flamethrower, and it's also got a DEP, which is a one-shot, essentially rocket launcher that it gets a piece of anti-armor equipment.
Okay, I'm sold. We don't need to talk about anything else.
It'll be the center point of your attack.
This
is the guy who just goes in there, takes the punishment, and keeps going. Very hard to beat. Bulwark. It's if you have a look at the model itself, the picture, it tells you everything you need to know. It's an indestructible monster.
It does look badass, I've got to say.
And just a little few rules to learn. I mean, not very much, not complicated. And that is cool.
It operates the same way as the basic line troops. It just moves a bit faster, has heavier armor, and packs more of a punch.
And the Auxilia?
Good contrast here. These guys are much more versatile. So they're essentially 2 units acting as one. The Auxilia himself, who is the line trooper, and his Aux bot, which is like a companion bot. Whatever the Auxilia does, his bot will copy, but he can also use his Aux bot to scout for him. So he can stay behind cover and send his Aux bot to look around the corner. And the Aux bot has a heavy flamethrower. So you can send your Aux bot round the corner without exposing yourself and just whatever it sees, set on fire.
I like that.
Yes.
This seems to be a kind of like a nice fit for me. The Jotun is there for, it feels Pano to me because it's heavy, it's brutal, it's military. So just march it in and do your stuff. But I do like what you're saying about the Auxilia, because that now starts to feel like it's giving me more tactical options. It's giving me a little bit more to think about. But by this stage of playing the game, where I'm ready to expand it, I want a little bit more to think about. I want to try and change things up.
And as you were saying about the ITS, Auxilia make fantastic specialists for taking up objectives. You can make them forward observers, and both of those troops are specialist troops.
Now, why does that apply only to the ITS? Can you explain to me what bearing the ITS actually has on these models? Are they doing something in the Infinity tournament system that they can't do if I'm just playing normal games with my mates, or is there a specific slot that I have to fulfill?
Well, the Infinity tournament system has some missions. Some of them are just annihilation, so let's kill each other. Some of them are occupy different places of the table. Okay, not complicated. But other missions have objectives that only specialist troops will be able to achieve to get. Okay, activate that super sophisticated console. Only hackers, engineers, people with chain of command or forward servers will be able to do it. So that is when you realize that the firepower, super powerful troops have to provide coverage and support, so the specialists can reach those points and activate those objectives.
Gotcha.
That is the way ITS works, and usually with missions with returns is the competitive game. So when you are making your list, you have to balance the firepower with the specialist, something like that.
So what we've got here is a list that is not only fun and will expand your options in terms of the tactics you play, but it is also a fairly good fit for if you want to go and start playing your first tournament.
This is a list to take on all comers. It can do annihilation, just wipe out an enemy. The Jotun and all the other troops will provide that support. But if you're playing ITS, if you're playing a tournament game, this list is very, very strong for that as well.
Yeah.
And it's learning the basics and then going into tournaments, and probably your mind will go boom, because you'll see lots of different gaming style, lots of different armies. I mean, getting into Infinity is like something that is expanding. Is realizing that it's a huge community and world out there.
Fantastic. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the Nomads now. So, Carlos, I've got my tags. I've just looked at the page here. I think I've got my pandas.
Yes.
Tell me how you expanded it.
Okay. Another tag will suit perfectly in the Nomad army list. We are putting here the iguana. Why did you choose the iguana? Because it looks beautiful.
It does, yes.
Nothing else. We're going with aesthetics, right? Red tag. And this also comes with the operator, because if the iguana gets partially destroyed, the operator can jump and get out of the super armor and behave as a heavy infantry.
Cool.
So, yes, it's super cool. The idea is super cool. And the miniatures were very well delivered, they're very well designed and sculpted. So it's a very successful product. We like it very much. So put it in the Operation Icestorm box. What people should buy after the box, the iguana, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
You will have another box to put in the building over it. And then we recommend the recently released Tunguska Interventors. That, at some point of this year, next year, will explode in popularity, because the hacker rules for 3rd edition are something that I cannot talk about yet, but are very cool. And the Interventors are like tags in the hacking world. Imagine that apart from the world of shooting, there is this strong world, okay? And the Interventors, because they have a huge BTS value, they are like tags there against other hacker attacks. I won't say anything else. And they come with pandas.
They come with pandas, yes.
So, Killian, from a playstyle point of view, how do you feel about the choices here of the Interventors and the iguana?
Well, if Pano is about heavy firepower and armor, Nomads are about versatility and adaptability. And both of these units are fantastic. They carry that theme forward, extra effective. So, for example, the iguana, it's a tag. It's not quite as powerful as the Otum, because it doesn't have as much heavy armor. But if the iguana goes down and the pilot ejects, that's another troop, a heavy infantry troop at that, with a HMG. So you essentially get 2 units for the price of 1, and both of them are very effective. So you use the iguana till it goes down, eject the pilot, and that pilot keeps on fighting, and he's still a very effective troop. Yeah,
Awesome.
very much so. And then the interventors, these guys are, if you're talking about specialists, these guys are hard to beat. These are very, very versatile, very strong troops. Again, as Carlos says, they're hackers, and hackers have a lot of new abilities in 3rd edition, and also they have very high willpower and very high BTS. So in the realm of hacking and information warfare, these guys are the pinnacle. They're very, very tough.
Correct.
They're fast pandas as well, essentially act as what are known as repeaters. So these guys basically run forward, turn into repeater markers, and allow you to extend the range of your hacking. And whenever you're doing that with hackers, that's a godsend, because it means you get more range on your abilities. You extend your zone of control.
And you can keep your hackers safer
exactly
for longer.
Yes.
So these guys aren't going to be the guys who go and take out the enemy with bullets. They're going to shut down the heavy infantry. They're going to destroy enemy hackers, and they're going to seize objectives.
Yeah.
Interventors are experts in information warfare. Really, really good troops.
Guys, look, thank you very much for that. I've just 2 more questions, okay? If you had to pick an army from what we've just discussed, which would be your favorite?
Well, we're choosing between Pano and Nomads.
Yep, from the expanded
ones,
the
Nomads.
Nomads?
I think they look incredibly cool. I mean, very recent miniatures, all of them, sculpted by all of them by Fausto, I guess. No, I guess Javi Ureña did the interventors. Excellent stuff and really good list. I mean, just by looking at the one, I'm in love with the Nomads.
What about you?
I have to disagree with Carlos here. I would go for Pano, and 2 reasons for that. Can't tell you how long I've waited for new Fusiliers, and they're gorgeous. And also, I love me some tags, and I would get that Jotun with a heartbeat. It's an absolute monster, and I can't wait to paint it up.
As soon as your Jotun is inside the range of my interventors, I can make him dance. I can make him whatever I want.
Oh, you've got to get through my BS12 first to get there. My Fusiliers will take you out.
Final question then, between the 2 army lists, who would win the fight?
Let's roll a dice for that.
We'll roll a dice.
Is it that tight?
I win.
I think I understood that.
Okay, guys, look, thank you so much for watching. Carlos, thanks for joining us. Killian, what a fantastic member of the team. Good to have you on board. Guys, any questions, comments, or queries that you might have, get them in the comments below. We're going to try and see if we can get a live chat going in the little chat room, and we'll get Carlos and some of the team from Corvus Belli in to answer any of the questions that they can answer, because they're still playing their cards bloody close to their chest. We're going to take them outside and tie them up here in a minute. But they might be able to answer some of your questions, some they may not, of course. But who knows what can happen when you get these guys excited on a live chat. Other than that, we hope you've enjoyed it. The Weekender's coming up at the weekend, so make sure and tune into that, because no doubt we'll be talking a bit more about Operation Icestorm and Infinity 3 and what our hopes are for that. So, until then, happy gaming.